my name is Hartley Dagador, and you're listening to Wake Up with Wonder Podcast, where my daddy shares with you the gift of wonder.
All right, welcome back. Thank you to my beautiful daughter, Hartley Day Godoy, for that lovely introduction. My name is Jason B. Godoy, and I'm going to be your host. You're listening to the Friendly Friday episode of the Wake Up with Wonder podcast. Once a month, the last Friday of the month, I sit down and release an interview episode with someone who I feel is a leader in their respective industry, in their respective field of business. And not only are they a leader, but they're living a life of wonder. A life of wonder means that they are present in the current moment. They're maximizing the time spent in the current moment while being able to explore new possibilities, to make a commitment to evolving and becoming a better version of themselves every single day. This episode is going to be titled, You Are Your Commitment, and I'm going to be sitting down to do an interview with my first coach that I've ever had, with a mentor and a friend, Mr. Ryan P Lampe. I believe at the beginning of this episode, I did not give him a proper introduction, so let me just say, Ryan is a father, he's a husband, he's a married businessman, he was a pastor at one point, he had his own podcast at one point. Ryan is many things. He was disabled at one point, but most of all, as you're going to learn in this episode, Ryan says that he is his commitment. So Ryan is not tied to his results, he is tied to his commitment. Whatever he is committed to making happen, he is tied to the journey, to doing the work, to make that commitment a reality. So today's episode is called You Are Your Commitment, and I think it's only fitting that at the beginning of June, we like to have one challenge every month that coincides with the Friendly Friday episode. So in our Wonders and Friends community for June, we're going to be doing the You Are Your Commitment Challenge, where the members of the community have the opportunity to pick one thing that they're committed to, whether it's a habit, whether it's a goal, but they're committed to one thing, and they're going to continue to do that habit, continue to do that objective every single day for the month of June. And I'm excited to see the results that come out of keeping these commitments and staying true, staying committed to one task for 30 days straight. So at the end of this episode, you'll learn more about the You Are Your Commitment Challenge. Stay tuned to the very end. Ryan does share his story at the end of going to the nude beach and how the nude beach in San Diego inspires wonder in his life. And then lastly, before we get started, if you haven't already left an iTunes podcast review, please continue to do so. The podcast reviews are how we spread the gift of wonder to the people who may need to hear it most. If you find value in this episode, if you know somebody who could use more connection in their life, who isn't getting the desired amount of connection they want in their marriage or with their children or just at home, this is the perfect episode to share with them so that they can have tools to create more connection in their marriage, to create more connection with their children, and to create more connection at home. And then lastly, very last thing before we get started, this episode is brought to you 100% by the Wonders and Friends community. If you don't know about our Wonders and Friends community, it is a community based around the podcast where like-minded individuals like yourself come. We share our daily positivities, we share daily perspective shifts, we share our goals, we share our intentions, and really it's a place where we can all come together and collectively level up our lives together, all areas of our life. So if you want to learn more about the Wonders and Friends community, just check the show notes for this podcast. I won't take any more of your time. I hope you guys enjoy this episode where I sit down and I have a freaking fun conversation with my friend Ryan P Lampe. All right, everyone. So I'm sitting here with a friend, mentor, known the guy for a little over a year now, Mr. Ryan P Lampe. I want to say hi to everyone, Ryan.
What's up, guys?
All right. So Ryan is a coach who helps men create more sex and connection in their marriage. Is that right, Ryan?
And better sex.
Not just more
and
sex.
Connection.
Better sex and connection. What's the difference between more sex and better sex?
Well, lots of guys have no sex, but there's also a lot of guys who have a lot of sex. But it's like, it's basically no different than masturbating into a vagina. They just do it again and again, and they might feel like it holds the marriage together, but it misses the passion and the honeymoon phase type of desire and craving of each other that they once had 5, 10, 15 years ago when they first got married.
So when you talk about connection, you're really referring to passion and just intimacy.
Yeah, desire, passion.
Love it. All right, so now that we've established who you are, Ryan, let's just dive straight into wonder. I'm going to go ahead and ask you, why is wonder important to you, my friend?
All right. So I think of wonder, the first thing that comes to my mind is the word curiosity. I think of having this open, curious mind that's open to wonder. And it's important to me because I spent the first 31 years of my life thinking that I had shit figured out. I mean, it's as simple as that. I thought I had everything figured out. And what changed my life was when the first time, and this was about 2 years ago, the first time I could see that everything that I had experienced in life was basically scratching the surface of the real reality that I'm actually living. And so my heart was open for the first time that I don't fucking know it all, that I don't have the answers of what... It's not even the answers. It's like I don't know what my actual reality is. Like I think I'm loving my wife so amazing. I think I'm such a great dad. I think I'm such a great human being. This great person in the church, just serving, loving, really nice, kind, loving guy. And yet other people's experience of me is not that. Sometimes even the complete opposite of that. Until that nut was cracked, until I could be open to that wonder and just get curious about myself and about other human beings and what they are experiencing in life, I was stuck. I was stuck going nowhere. Inside my marriage, inside my life, with my kids, with myself, my relationship with God, I was just stuck.
Got it.
So I thought I knew wonder. I thought I knew what... I thought I knew what this, I was so in awe of God at the time. I was like, God, the universe and the Bible, it's like, this is wonder to me. And little did I know it was my own heart that I was locked up. I couldn't even experience what I thought was wonder.
God is wonder, and I agree with you. And I found it interesting how, I thought I knew God, and then once I experience wonder for the first time as well, and once I started to view wonder in a different mindset, in a different way, that my relationship with God changed, and that I began to know God in a deeper way, almost for the first time. And I was going to ask you, so once you finally woke up, like you said, and after 31 years of life, you thought you knew everything, and then you realized you were scratching the surface. At that point, was it almost like you were doing everything again for the first time, relearning everything for the first time?
Not necessarily for the first time.
Okay.
But I was open. Everything I was doing, I had this openness about me that I was open to receiving other people's feedback. I was open to my Lucy, my wife, criticizes me or gives me shit that, hey, you know what? Maybe she's not wrong. Maybe she's not, just being a bitch. Maybe she has some truth to what she's saying. Maybe I'm not getting the whole picture here. And so it's not that I was doing it for the first time, it's that I was willing to make changes. I was willing to make shifts and to just see from different perspectives things that I don't know, that I don't even know.
So your mind was just open to basically the power of possibility and just the power of new things and different things.
The power of possibility.
Love it. So then you talk about your mind, you talk about your heart. Does wonder resonate more for you, with your mind or with your heart, or maybe both?
Both. Yeah. So what do you mean by wonder in my heart? What sticks out to you when you think about wonder and heart?
So when I talk about wonder and heart, I at times you can just sit there and think and wonder, like literally. But there's other times where I like know in my heart, or I'm like genuinely just curious more than wondering, but in my heart, like I feel it. Like to me, wonder can be a feeling, and that's when it comes from the heart. But when I'm thinking about it and like planning about the future, that's when wonder is in my mind. And I find when they're synchronized and when they come into alignment, that's when like the action and the commitment happens.
Yeah.
How about
you? So I think like in my heart, I feel like our hearts are drawn to wonder. So my heart is drawn to wonder, is drawn to experience new, special, novel things. Like, so just inside the context of marriage, if we get married, I mean, the fucking decision to get married is ridiculous. Like, there's nothing logical about it. Is like,
not at all.
To have kids, like, is crazy. There's nothing logical about this. And yet we make this based on this desire in our hearts to experience something new, something novel, more passion, more desire, more connection, more love. And we want that, and then we get caught up in our brain. So this whole time together, this wonder in our head and in our hearts, like my mind, it has often in the past worked against me, and it keeps me in this place of like you said, the planning, the logistics. It's like, okay, my heart wants to desire so much, like more connection, more love, more intimacy and stuff in my relationships with my kids or with Lucy. And then all this shit happens in life, whether it's injury or financial hardships or just relationships in general, or big sacrifices, big moves, and things happen. And we have 4 kids, like all the responsibilities, and all of a sudden my head gets filled with excuses and reasons why I can't experience all that. We had this honeymoon phase, and then all of a sudden, a honeymoon phase is a honeymoon phase. It's a honeymoon phase because you don't have any kids yet. You don't have all these responsibilities. But once we have all that, there's no honeymoon phase anymore. There's more wonder. Like, we have shit figured out. We just got to do what we have to do. And it's all in my brain. And it's locked me up in the past. It's just kept me imprisoned from being able to experience what my heart really wants. It's just like, man, just pure desire and passion, even lust, just freedom is freedom. And so my heart desires this big wonder. It's like watching a Disney movie. Like our hearts wonder, like we want this novelty and this new experience. What's on the other side? There's got to be more. Constantly growing, constantly expanding, constantly something new, something fresh, something special. But my mind is working against that wonder, wanting, trying to justify how things are the way they are, and you're doing the best you can, and that's it. It just kind of keeps me in the same spot.
So then how do you bring those two into like an alignment? And it sounds like it's a constant battle. Yeah,
so it's not necessarily, it was a battle. So it definitely was a battle. I think most of us spend a big portion of our lives caught up in this battle of our hearts want so much, but our brains rationalize why we can't have it, we don't have it, we probably never will get it. So just, be cool with what you have and be thankful for what you have. And so there's a battle at that point. And for me, it comes back to this wonder, this openness I talked about in the beginning. It's like when I could unlock my mind to, get past my ego, get past my pride, get past this thinking that I know everything that I know and know that everything that I don't know, and get into this realm of, I don't even know the things that I don't even know. And I gave my mind permission to just be open to this stuff. It's like, example is, it's crazy, this concept of I don't know that I don't know. Maybe you guys heard this many times. But my example I think of to myself is, man, when I was a kid, I used to love fishing and hunting. And I don't know when it was, maybe 11 years old. But the first time I had an orgasm, before that, I thought like fishing and hunting with my dad was like the greatest experience in the world.
Best thing ever, yeah.
And then I had an orgasm. I was like, you know what? This is pretty fucking amazing. And then, like a lot of other 11-year-olds, I was like, I can't wait to masturbate. And I didn't even know that there was another experience. I didn't know that I didn't even know that there's something else like that makes me feel so good. So that there's something better than what I thought was the best, which at the time I thought was being with my dad, hunting and fishing, which was great. But it didn't compare to an orgasm, to a kid who just discovered this stuff.
Yeah.
So when I could unlock my mind and get my mind open to, considering new perspectives, new possibilities, then I could get my mind working together with my heart to actually achieve this wonder and this novelty that I'm looking for across everything in my life, of course inside my marriage, but, in business and with everything, I'm always craving for something new, less monotonous, something fresh, and something that grows me as a human being.
So it's not necessarily bringing your heart and mind into alignment. It's more so just getting your heart to be clear on what it wants, to have a vision, and then allowing your mind, in a sense, to be not necessarily surrender, but to be open to the vision and to be willing to explore that wonder, that possibility. And from there is where the more, the better, the greater, where all that stuff starts to happen, right?
Yeah, I think that, first of all, our brains are powerful. They're made to protect us. We need our brains. A lot of guys are follow your heart, follow your heart, follow your heart. But we have to take our brains with us. Our brains literally protect us.
Right.
And also they're working up, creating the future, making plans, logistics, all that kind of stuff. But for the majority of my life, my brain was there only to protect me. It wasn't there to support my heart. It was there to protect me from doing something wrong, from doing something, that either my parents would think I'm wrong, so I'm getting in trouble with them, or that would get me, or that would put me in a position of being rejected by friends or other people in school, or fucking up in the military, or fucking up at a job, getting fired. Like my brain was always on this mode of protect, protect, protect. Like I was gonna die, like something was wrong, like I had to, like I needed protection all the time. And so there was no possibility of even accessing my heart, the fire there, the flame there, the passion there, the desire, in the vision. There was no vision. It was just like survive, do whatever I can to get the best job, get paid the much as I can, get liked by as many people as I can, get the highest status you can attain, marry the most beautiful wife you can, try to have the most beautiful picture-perfect family you can, all to get more acceptance. This helped me in my game of survival. And once I could get my brain out of this fucking game of survival and realize that, I'm not going to die. I'm not trying to survive. That's not the game I'm trying to live here. I want to actually live and be able to pursue what I really want, be able to create what I want inside my family and with this world. And so once I gave my mind that permission, I was, get to this place of being unlocked, seeing that everything that I thought I knew was just scratching the surface on the real reality I was living. Then I could actually have my mind to not work against me in trying to protect me, but rather support me in creating what I want. So now, instead of being led by my brain, controlled by my brain like a zombie or an autopilot, always being protected, like I'm going to die, I could actually be led by my heart. Led by my heart with permission to pursue what's inside my heart, my passions, my desires, my dreams, my visions. And then my brain actually supports me by figuring out new possibilities instead of going to the, what I need to do, what I must do for whatever reason, for, because the church said it, because the Bible says it, because my parents said it, because my friends say it. I get to consider, 1, 2, maybe 25 or 100 different possibilities that could get me what I actually want. That has nothing to do with what I need to actually do in life.
The power of possibility is amazing, especially when you're able to really listen to your heart and to dive into what your heart wants. But I mean, you have 4 kids, right, Ryan? So having 4 kids, I feel like you might not ever lose your sense of wonder, because my kids always keep me wondering. But at the same time, was a time in your life where you didn't have that power of possibility, and you didn't have this superpower, in a sense, to see outside of yourself and see outside of the current situation. So was there ever a time where you lost your sense of wonder, where you just didn't have wonder because you couldn't see outside of yourself?
Yeah, man. And actually, if we don't mind, I'm not gonna go with that, answering that question. But since you brought the children up, this is a great example of this, losing wonder.
Let's do it.
So it's not even losing wonder. I didn't have that wonder yet. I really didn't have that sense, that capability of of releasing what I thought was, outside of just my own perspective. So I had my first two kids. Let me see. I had our first kid when I was 20. And, oh man, she's 12 years old now. 13 months later, we had another one. So we have a 12-year-old and an 11-year-old. Those are our two oldest girls. And the first, 6 years of their lives, man, these kids were fucking amazing. They listened to everything I told them. I spanked the shit out of them. And so I come from a military family, Vietnamese family also. So like super strict. You never talk back. You always say yes, mom. You always, like, there's just zero disrespect, period. There's no tolerance of disrespect. And then I went in the military.
So you raised robots for 6 years.
So my kids were robots. And the thing is, I thought I was doing a damn good job. And the feedback I got from my church, from other people, like I was seen as this guru in parenting. Because my kids were so fucking amazing at listening to me. And they were like so respectful. They gave everybody hugs and kisses, said thank you. They said and did all the right things. Little did I know that their hearts were very far from me, from Lucy, from what we thought they were. It was just not in the things. They did things because they had to. They did things because they didn't want to get in trouble. They did things because they thought it was right, and that's what gave them their worth. They were not free to be able to pursue what's in their heart. And so when I discovered my own pain in my own heart, and I discovered how locked up my heart was, and I was able to free myself from not having to live this life of doing what I think I need to do or based upon what everyone else tells me I need to do, but just from my own heart. What do I want? What do I want? What do I want? What do I feel? What do I want? I discovered in my kids, both Callie and Lexi, the two older ones, that their hearts were far from me. That they would say goodnight to me. I love you, Daddy. Good night. We had a great day today. They would tell me this stuff often. I mean, they'd tell me, I love you, Daddy. We had a great, you're the best daddy in the world. They told me this stuff every day. And it stroked my ego. I thought I was doing a great job. Lucy thought she was doing a great job. And then we went to this place where, after I really unlocked a lot of feelings in myself, I unlocked a lot of feelings in them. And literally they spent hours and hours sharing their feelings about how, going back from when they were 3 years old. This was just a couple of years ago. They went back, so they were 10, I think 9 and 10 at the time. And they dated from then back to 3 years ago, where they shared their heart, their feelings, how much pain they had, how much sadness they had, how much, they told us every day that I love you, Daddy, and you're a great daddy, you're doing good, or you're the best daddy in the world. Like, these things came out of their mouth regularly. Little did I know that inside their hearts, they're like, man, I hate Daddy. I hate Mommy. Why do they work so much? Why are they always gone? Why didn't he go to my birthday party at this time? Why is this injury such a big deal? Other people get injured. Why do they keep my daddy on the couch? Like, they had so many questions, but they didn't have the space inside them to be able to even ask themselves some questions, because it was, in their minds, it was wrong. Like, that would be rude. They would be not good children to be able to express how they really feel. And when we saw this was 2 years ago, when Lucy and I saw this, we realized that not that we fucked up, it's just that the way we have been raising our kids, we thought it was so good, so perfect. Our kids did everything that we wanted them to do. But we realized that they were just really, really good robots. And that's not what we really wanted. We thought we wanted that, but what we really wanted were kids who were passionate, on fire, that danced, were crazy, that said whatever they wanted to say, that expressed themselves, and were free to be themselves. Like, I'd rather have my kids tell me, hey, you know what, Daddy, today you sucked. Today, I'm sad. I feel like you were not there. I feel like you didn't care about me. I'd rather them tell me that and not even give me a hug if they really don't feel like it and go to bed. At least I know that, so we can address it tomorrow, rather than them actually feeling that, but then telling me, hey, Daddy, I love you. Have a good night. I'll see you tomorrow. And I don't even know what's really going on in their hearts. And so this was 2 years ago. And once we discovered that they had so much pain and sometimes like just pure hatred in their hearts towards me, even towards themselves, towards God, I just speak for myself, and I became really open and realizing that, wow, I do not know my kids at all like I thought I knew. I thought I was a great dad, and I completely missed the mark. And so now my commitment is to inspire my kids to be free, to have that freedom to constantly unlock them every day, unlock them more and more, to be able to pursue that wonder, pursue their desires, ask the curious questions, to go after what they want, to fail forward, to make all the mistakes they want, to express themselves however they want, and to really, find themselves, be themselves. And I get to see this, and when I see this, and so now we learned that from the two older kids, but we have some younger ones also. So they are 4 and 5 now. And, we haven't done a lot of the, parented them in the same way with that militaristic type of parenting, I'll call it. And so these kids are super free. Man, they're always dancing, always singing, they're always goofy. The youngest one is a boy. His name is Ezekiel, and he's super he can be really flamboyant and crazy, and he dances. And he loves wearing dresses and stuff. He's a little kid, he just turned 4 years old this month, and but in my old mindset, where I came from, you as a man, you are not a pussy. These are the words that were ingrained in me. You are not a pussy, and you are not a faggot. Right. You are not a pussy, and you are not a faggot. You don't show any parts of yourself. That's why dancing, the scariest thing for me was dancing in public. Because I might move my shoulder the wrong way or shake my hip the wrong way, and I look like I'm gay. I look too feminine. And it was such a fucking prison. And now I look at my kids, and I'm able to inspire this. You call it wonder, Jason. I just look at it as this openness to being themselves, to discovering every day. Hey, they get to shake their bodies however they want to, and if they like it, they can do it more. If they don't like it, they can do something different. And it's the most beautiful thing I get to experience as a parent. It's my favorite thing. We just came off the best Christmas we've had since we've been married, 13 years. And man, Lucy has just been expressing herself and her dancing and her singing and her music and stuff. And I've been dancing for the first time in my life. Just dancing. Dancing is, I tell you, it's the scariest thing to me because I don't want to look feminine. I don't want to look stupid. I don't want to look, look in any way not perfect, not strong, not badass. And then just us breaking out of our comfort zone and being silly. Our kids are so encouraged and so inspired to just be themselves. And that's pure wonder.
So you actually kind of just answered my next question, Ryan. So to recap really quick, those 6 years for your first two children, those first 6 years of their life, you in a sense felt like you had lost your sense of wonder just because you were inhibiting and you were limiting their sense of wonder, and you were preventing them from asking questions and just from being who they truly are meant to be. So for those 6 years, obviously you felt like you were doing everything fucking right. You felt like the best parent in the whole world, super dad over here. But looking back on it now, how do you feel after those 6 years? I'm sure at some point there was some guilt and some shame and some feelings that came with that.
So first, I wouldn't even say I lost my sense of wonder. I never even knew what wonder was.
Ooh, okay.
I didn't know what it was. And so it wasn't until the opening of our hearts, this new capacity to express ourselves, for me particularly, is cussing. I cuss a lot now, and I wouldn't let myself cuss. Because that's not right. The church doesn't want it. My parents don't like it. A lot of people don't like it. A lot of my friends didn't like it, so I didn't do it. And cussing, dancing, it could be anything. And once we're opened up to this, being able to express ourselves and grow and really experience the wonder of being human beings, I told you a couple of years ago when we found out about all this pain in our kids' hearts that they want to express. Or they didn't want to express. They were scared to express. They didn't know how to, and they just suppressed it for years and years and years. And once all that came out, I was filled with so much guilt, so much shame, and I felt like the shittiest dad ever. I literally apologized to them over and over again for being the shittiest dad. I went from and they literally told me, "But you're the best dad." Their brains, that's all they could think about. But you're literally the best dad that we know. You're the best dad that we could ever have. You're the best dad. And in my mind, I was like, I know you see that. I know you say that. I'm sorry for being this shitty dad. I could have did this. I could have did this. And my mind was filled with all these thoughts of how I could have and should have did stuff differently. So yeah, there was a season of my life. It probably lasted a solid 2 months where I was like really dark in this place of trying to figure out, hey, how have I fucked up, and what can I do to fix it?
So at that point, I've been there. It's really easy to raise robots. Super easy. You really almost don't even have to try. You just have to do what society tells you to do and tell them to do what society says. And when I've done that, and then I reflect back on like why my kids aren't asking questions like I want them to, why are they not being curious? Why are they just playing by the rules, essentially? Like, why are they not stepping out of their comfort zone? And when I reflected and I realized it was my doing and my inability to get them to think differently and to wonder, I was pretty rough on myself, and I got past that by just being kind and just like loving myself. And it doesn't help to show the children like how sad and how guilty you feel. Is there anything else that you did besides just being kind to yourself and loving yourself? Did you journal, or how did you get past that? And
yeah, it was the question that I came back to again and again is, what am I committed to?
Okay.
So the question that even precedes that is, what do I want? So all these things that created this guilt and shame in me is because I did something that was, if I look back in retrospect, it's not what I really wanted. So I looked at myself like, damn, I fucked up. Like, I was a shitty dad. So I felt guilt and shame. And I would immediately go from there. I call it acknowledging and committing. And so I acknowledged that, hey, I fucked up. Hey, I messed up. Hey, this was, I wasn't there. Literally, this stuff came out. Callie's 10 years old at the time, 2 years ago. And she's like, I can't believe when I was 3 years old, you didn't come to my birthday party because this happened or whatever. I was like, damn, you remember that? Like, And so it's acknowledging. And she's crying, and I'm crying, so I feel it. Like, it's not like a bullshit apology, like, hey, yeah, I'm sorry that I didn't do that. Okay, cool. It's like I really feel it, and she sees that. So it's truly, she sees that I see her. She sees that I see her pain. So it's a true acknowledgement. And then it's me getting clear with, okay, what do I want now? I want her to trust me. That was the big thing. I want my kids to trust me. I want them to be able to express themselves to me no matter what, not to hide anything, not to hold anything back from me. And so I would commit to them. I'm committed to being, I get clear, not just what I want, which is that trust, but clear on what they want. I want, Daddy, I want you to show up to my stuff from now on. Or at least, show that you care more, something like that. And so I would get clear on that, and then I would make a new commitment. And so this was the daily thing come out of my mouth multiple times a day. It's like, what do you want? And I'm committed to it. So I'm filled with, in this period of my life, I'm filled with all this guilt and shame, all this regret of like, damn, I didn't do things the way I should have done it, quote unquote, should have done it. And so I'm just filling them in with commitments. And it was the commitments that created the trust. Because the apologies didn't really do a damn thing at the beginning.
And just to get clear, like when you apologize, you obviously would apologize to their face. So when you're making commitments to them, I'm getting clear, you're committing directly to their face.
Yeah, like I use the word commitment.
Because a lot of parents, they just commit in their mind, like, hey, I'm going to be at my kid's next birthday. I'm never going to miss my kid's birthday again.
Yeah.
But
so as I'm being very clear with my words and very direct with them. So basically, if I step on my kid's foot and it hurts, I say, I'm sorry that I stepped on your foot. I'm sorry that it hurts. I acknowledge their pain in their hearts. And then I make a very clear, direct commitment to them that, hey, I'm going to do my best to not step on your foot anymore. Or if it's something that I know I can truly control, like I will not step on your foot anymore, period. And they can trust that. And as I make that commitment and I really mean it, if I really mean it, then everything inside of me changes. I'm not feeling guilty about who I was anymore, about me stepping on their foot or me fucking up in the past. I know what I am committed to moving forward. And something I live by is I am my commitment. I'm not my results. I'm my commitment.
So you get past the feelings of the past and you push forward just by constantly looking forward and looking at what you're committed to making happen. And the question I was going to ask you earlier was maybe you can share with us like a tool that you and Lucy used with your older children to help unlock them and help set them free. And I know you had said that you and Lucy, once you guys just started dancing and just being free, especially you, and just kind of being goofy and innocent and playful, that was one of the things that helped unlock your daughters. Was there anything else that really you found helped unlock them?
Well, I think the biggest thing overall was the constant, this whole game that I'm talking about, being like acknowledging and committing.
Got it.
Like doing that.
Being consistent.
Consistently, yeah, over the past 2 years now. Like that has made it. Like I think without that, I could dance and be free and act goofy, and they'd look at me like they wouldn't be connected to me. Like, okay, he can do it, but maybe I shouldn't do it still. Like there's no connection, there's no trust there. So with the constant, and it's not just with my kids, it's with, it could be with Lucy, it's with my friends, it's with my clients, it's with prospects, it's with anybody and everybody. It's like acknowledging anywhere where I'm out of integrity, anywhere where I missed the mark between us, and committing to where I want to go. And so doing that over and over and over again. I've done it hundreds and hundreds of times with my kids. Like they see it and they see me. The thing is, I'm living into my commitment. Like it's not bullshit. I'm not saying, hey, I'm committed to this to try to put a Band-Aid over something. Like they experience me. That's why I say it's taken 2 years. It's taken us years. And the thing is, I feel like I'm only scratching the surface on this. 10 years from now, it's going to be, I can't even imagine. It's going to be amazing, the trust that I've built. But they see me acknowledge, instead of sweeping shit under the rug, I acknowledge the pain. I acknowledge how I fucked up. I acknowledge where I missed the mark. And then I make a commitment to them. And then they get to experience me for the next day, for the next week, for the next month and year, living into that commitment. Instead of being how I used to be in the past. Like there was a time in the past where I used to play video games. I was depressed. I would play video games because I was disabled. I was couch ridden, and I played video games. That was like my go-to thing to numb the pain, to distract myself from what I really wanted.
Sedation.
And so I would sedation. And I would tell my kids, hey, when I get better, this will happen, or I want to do this with you more, we'll make it happen sometime. I would make all these promises to them, knowing that in their hearts they wanted this with me. They wanted to spend more time with me. But I didn't want all that with them. I didn't want to spend a bunch of time with them. I felt guilty. I felt ashamed as a man, like just not even being able to walk around. And so I made these promises to them, and they saw that it didn't really fucking mean anything.
So you filled them up with empty commitments and empty promises for almost 2 years. Didn't mean shit.
Yeah, and the thing is, I did it legitimately for 2 years.
And
but I probably did it my whole life, their whole lifetimes. I just didn't really realize it. Like I didn't put weight to my words. Like I would say things to please people. I would say things because it was the right thing to say. Yeah, man, I can make this party. Sure, I'll make it to the party. Like even if I didn't want to go to the fucking party, I would go if I knew it would make them happy. And so that's bullshit. Like no one wants somebody to go to the party if they don't want to go to the party. Like it's everything about the way I handled shit was not from my heart. It was based upon what I thought I was supposed to say to fit in or to be the right or good or nice or awesome, loving person. And so that's the same thing with my kids. My kids experience this version of myself that would just do everything to save face and be a good dad to them, even if that meant blowing smoke up their ass. And so now for the past 2 years, they get to experience me every day, not playing games, like not fucking around, taking the game of being in relationship with them very seriously.
That's where ruthlessly committed came from. So it's a phrase you say a lot, ruthlessly committed.
Committed.
Before with your kids, you were committed, or air quote committed, because you thought you were giving them what they wanted to hear.
Yeah, I wouldn't even use the word commitment. Like it wasn't even my vocabulary.
But the ruthlessly is like the commitment that comes from the heart. That's what I'm trying to get to, right? That's that.
So ruthlessly, so what this actually came from was this guy named Garrett J. White. He's the founder of Wake Up Warrior.
Okay.
And he has a book called The Warrior Book, or The Black Book. And it's a very good book. I highly recommend it. It changed my life on many levels.
Good book.
And in there is a quote that he uses 2 times, if I recall correctly. He uses it 2 times. And the quote is this: you do not get what you want. You don't get what you want. You don't get what you deserve. You don't get what you are entitled to. You get what you are ruthlessly fucking created. Damn. You get what you are ruthlessly fucking committed to creating. So it's a quote from him. You don't get what you want. You don't get what you deserve. You don't get what you are entitled to. You get what you are ruthlessly fucking committed to creating. And that one quote stuck out to me more than anything in that book. And that right there, that's my life, man. Like, my whole life, I've been trying to be this perfect guy. I just believed if I could be this perfect guy, if I could check all the boxes, do all the right things, Make the church happy, make my parents happy, make the military happy, my commanders, my supervisors happy, my wife happy, my kids happy, then my life is going to be good. And then when life is not good because shit happens, I get disability, fucking genetic disease I get diagnosed with, just shit happens. And when all that happens, all of a sudden I'm angry at God and everybody else because I feel like I'm entitled to results because I'm such an awesome person. And once I could get my head wrapped around this concept that even if I did deserve, I feel like I deserve a relationship with my kids. I mean, there was a moment when Lucy took off with the kids, possibly never to return, to get a divorce. And I was like, you know what? Maybe I fucked up my marriage, but she cannot take my damn kids from me. There's no way. I'm the best fucking parent, period. I work my ass off every day, investing so much into them. I know I'm a great parent. And so even if I actually deserve my kids, at the end of the day, it doesn't mean I get them. It means she could divorce me. At the very best, I could get 50-50. And, at that time, possibly, maybe not even get them. If she really hated me and she, got the support she needed to really fuck me over, she could take my kids from me. Even if I deserve them or I am actually legitimately entitled to them, doesn't mean I actually get them. But if I step back for a second and say, what do I want? I want to make this work. I don't give a shit if it's fair. I don't give a shit if I deserve it or not. I want this. I want my family back. I want my kids intact. I want my relationships with Lucy, my kids, all this stuff. I want a marriage on fire. I want connection across the board. Wildly connected. That's what I want. Now the decision is this. Well, what am I fucking committed to? What am I committed to? The word ruthlessly means no matter what the fuck it takes. Fuck ego. Fuck what's right, what's wrong, what I should do, what I shouldn't do, what the church says, what God says, what my parents said. Fuck what anybody says. I want this so fucking bad. I want my marriage to be on fire so bad, I'm willing to do whatever it fucking takes. Even if it means fucking chasing after Lucy naked in the damn open city. I don't give a fuck. If that's what it takes to set my marriage on fire, I'm willing to do what it takes. Ruthlessly fucking committed. There's no laws. It gets rid of all the laws, the rules, the restrictions, the prisons, the regulations. And it's you know what? What the fuck do I want? And I'm going to make it happen.
And how am I going to make it happen?
That's a powerful fucking human being.
So speaking of being naked, if anybody checks out your Facebook or Instagram, they might see some pictures of you and Lucy over at the nude beach. I think it's called Black's Beach.
Yeah, Black's Beach.
I'm just really curious, Ryan. How does your trips to Black's Beach, how does that inspire wonder, or how does wonder inspire you guys to go to the beach and what is that? How does it impact your marriage?
Well, wonder, in this concept of curiosity, in this concept of, what we've been talking about, this openness of our hearts, a lot of it is wrapped up in our feelings. Inside of our hearts are our feelings and our desires, our vision. And, what I kept myself my whole life from experiencing is what I really want, my feelings and my desires. Because I'm locked up in this way of being that I am supposed to be based upon what other people think. And the freedom is in feeling my emotions, feeling my feelings. And that's when I can truly be sad. So take this step back a second from the nude beach and just talk about our feelings for a second. I was never taught that it was okay to be angry, just be angry or to be sad. Yeah, or to feel guilty or ashamed. Guilty, which means you need to fucking change yourself. It means you're a bad person. It means you deserve a spanking or to get fired or something. You shouldn't actually feel it. It means you just need to not feel it, just fucking change. Don't fuck up anymore.
Right.
And so I was never taught that, it's okay to be angry, be sad, feel guilty, feel ashamed, to just feel whatever the heart feels. And so on the opposite side of that, when I could give myself permission to feel all these dark, I call them dark emotions, all these dark emotions of rage, anger, hatred. Most guys will never allow themselves to feel hatred. They're too good, they're too cool, they're too godly to feel hatred. They're not a fucking human being. And once I could give myself permission to feel that, I could start to feel other things. More joy, more gratitude, more just pleasure. Sexuality is a huge thing because sexuality is fucking pleasurable. It can be. It wasn't for Lucy for a long time, the way she was raised. And even for me, there's certain parts of it, it's this is guilt. This is shame. This is not right. There's a part of me that's broken. It's fucked up. And once I can give myself permission to like feel all these feelings, like that's the wonder, like that's the beauty, that's the spark for the new vision, the new desire, the expanding of what we actually want, what we're committed to in life. And so the nude beach, to link this in, is like pure fucking openness. Like it's just absolute, no hiding, no shame. There's no bullshit in the way. It's like you're free to feel, to be, to express. When I say you, it's just me. Like me. Not, I mean, some guys are there, they can feel whatever they feel. But for me and Lucy, when we go out together, we feel fucking amazing. And that is a catalyst for the next level of what we want to feel. Like every level of feeling gratitude, every level of feeling joy is like the foundation of feeling what we want to feel in the future. Like we made this much money, this is fucking awesome. Next year we make this much. Like we're gonna build this from this foundation. We have this connection with our kids. We have this connection in our sex or with each other. Awesome. We celebrate it. We're excited about it. We're proud of it. And now we get to experience our next level. And in order to experience those next levels, or even to experience that, we had to have this space and just being able to appreciate our feelings and how we feel and going to these places of what we want. And for the nude beach, that's been a place for us to be like that. At first it was like getting us way out of our comfort zones. And now it's in our comfort zone, but it's still this place of experiencing being us without the restrictions, without the we already know. Like we know when we go there, a bunch of people fucking hate us. Like Lucy's parents disagree. Huge, her family, my family. I don't know about everybody in my family. I know, a lot of my family think is dumb, stupid, whatever. We already know we're going to be judged, but we're taking that opportunity to just be what we want to be. Feel what we want to feel. Feel free, feel powerful. There's nothing more powerful feeling than being you.
Nude.
No, being nude, but not even like physically. Like physically, it's just an outward expression of what's inside.
Being vulnerable, right?
Being vulnerable, yeah. So I had a podcast called the Surfing Lessons Podcast. And not only that, just on Facebook and, a lot of my social media and stuff, I post shit from my heart. With Lucy and I, we did this show called Ruthlessly Committed. And we would post our biggest fights. Like a lot of coaches, they will post, they'll teach. They'll post, market, teach, all this stuff of like, you know what? Last year, we had this huge fight. Huge fight. It was horrible, big fight, Man, things were broken, crazy stuff happened. And then... But it's okay. We saw, with the couples therapy, with this, we fixed it. We found out, how to fix it. And so now let me share with you guys the answers, what we learned. So that, okay, they're not perfect. They fucked up. Mm-hmm. Or they missed the mark and this is what they learned. But Lucy and I, we just took it to a whole nother level. Like, okay, we get in the middle of a big fight. We're about to get a fucking divorce. And we post that shit on social media. We go live on Facebook and we just share, like, this is what's going on with us. We fucking hate each other right now. And we would share behind the scenes what's really going on. And then you get to see, like, right there in live, in person, like, us healing, us figuring this shit out, us shifting and growing from there.
And literally just see you acknowledge and commit.
Yeah, acknowledging.
And express and just continue doing that over and over until it goes deeper and deeper.
And what that did is like give us such a power. Because while other coaches and other guys had to hide so much of like, where they fucked up, the fights that they had, like, I'm invincible. Like, there's nothing anyone can know about me on this planet that will faze me at all in any way. Like, everything there is to be known about me that's relevant to anything is there or is willing to be there. Like, there's nothing.
I love that. And for me, I think similar, once I learn or experience the freedom that is to be had in the vulnerability, that was really when my wonder just, like, took off to the next level. Like I just wondered like how much more vulnerable can I be, and every time I got more and more vulnerable, then I would feel more free. And I have to constantly pull myself out of my comfort zone. That's why the Blacks beach sounds intriguing. I've done like float tanks and I've done other stuff like that. I've done trainings where I had to do
awesome.
a naked solo hike, 1.5 mile naked solo hike. That was freaking intense. But yeah, the freedom lies in the vulnerability. That's huge. So before we get going, Ryan, this episode definitely went longer than I thought, but I think it was a great episode. I want to ask you just to share with the listeners your definition of the word wonder, your personal definition, besides curiosity. What does your heart say when you think of wonder?
Besides curiosity, I think of this, like I just had a picture in my mind. I picture our hearts desiring something more than what we currently experience, whatever that is. And wonder is that which is beyond our current reality, that which is currently beyond what we currently experience as our truth in life, of what we know.
There's something more.
There's something more. Yep.
Cool. All right, Ryan. Well, thanks for all of your valuable input. Thanks for the tools that you shared with us. Thanks for being so vulnerable, for sharing your heart. And before we get going, can you just share with our listeners where they might be able to learn more about you or learn more about Lucy?
Yeah, brother. Thanks for having me. And you guys can find me. My name is Ryan P Lampe, and you can simply find me on Facebook. Ryan P Lampe.
Cool, man. Thanks, Ryan. Love you, man. Have a great day.
All right.